Welcome back to Urban Woman with me, Razia Rangrage. It's a wonderful Wednesday morning, 30 minutes past the hour of 11. You're listening to the airwaves of Razia Rangrage International. Now, you know, when you're young, you think that you're going to remain young forever. The years just fly by. Blow and behold, before you know it, we are reaching the big 40. Yes, so now you're turning 40. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean slowing down. It actually means getting smarter about how you care or how we care for our minds, for our bodies, and the responsibilities that we juggle every day. So from hormonal changes and busy work schedules to family demands and personal well-being, this chapter of life brings new challenges, we know that, but also, subhanAllah, incredible opportunities to strengthen our health and reclaim our energy. Now, joining us on the line, we are super excited to welcome Losh Naidu, who is an occupational therapist, the Mummy Club, Sugar and Spice on Showmax, and digital creator. She's also the co-host of the Double Dose podcast, makeup artist, fashion designer, and so much more. An incredible urban woman joining us on the airwaves of Radio Al Ansar as well as on our screens. So hop onto Facebook and YouTube and join us live. Good morning, Losh, and welcome to Urban Woman on Radio Al Ansar.
Good morning, Raj. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for your time, and it's such a delight. Now we know, firstly I want to ask you before we jump into the questions, you are so dynamic. How do you manage it all?
I think, a lot of people say, oh my God, you're so lucky, you do it all. And I think the first thing I want to say, nothing is luck. Everything is intentional, and we can actually all do it all. What you need to do is prioritize what that all is for you. So if it's important enough to you, you will make time for it and you will manage it.
I love it, because that is such an authentic and a real answer, because that is true. There's nothing such as luck. Like if you see somebody that's really, really successful out there on the playing field, that's because they had put in a lot of effort. So thank you so much just for sharing that. And anybody can do it. Yes. Now we know, reaching the 40s can be a big one for many women. What daily routines would you say that women over 40 should actually prioritize to maintain energy levels and also prevent that burnout?
So I think as we get into our 40s, a lot of us have spent so much of our 30s looking after the real little kids. So all our energy and our time has gone towards that. And as we go into our 40s, the kids are a little bit older. You've got time now to explore what is important to you. So the first thing I'd recommend to develop your routine is to include some sort of activity. And when I say include activity, you have to be realistic. So we're not going to go from doing nothing much to saying, okay, I'm going to run a 5K every day, right? What I'm saying is, let's say every hour for 10 minutes, I'm going to go for a walk. For once a day, 3 times a week, I'm just going to take a friend, stroll to the promenade, have a cup of coffee, do something that is both spiritually and physically uplifting for you. So I think activity is a big one, and to include it in small ways. I think the biggest challenge comes in when people think I have to go to the gym or I have to have 45 minutes to an hour a day for activity. And this is completely untrue. The truth is, if you exercise for 45 minutes in the morning and you sit for the rest of the day, that is classified as poor levels of activity. So you'd rather skip the gym. I'm saying gym is great, but what you're doing for that, the rest of those 8 hours are equally important. So just getting up and moving every 10 minutes actually makes the biggest difference. And I find it's the most attainable way to get some sort of physical activity in. I think protein, as we get into our 40s, is an absolute priority. It makes you feel better. It's the building blocks of health. It is what nourishes our bodies so that it lasts longer. And I think as women, if we try and get in 30 grams of protein at every meal, we're doing ourselves a huge service in how we age. And I think lastly, to prioritize sleep. The biggest factor of anti-aging is to let your body rest, and your body rests when you sleep. So to ensure you get 8 hours of sleep, recently I was just talking about my daughter, and I got her a weighted blanket, and weighted blankets are actually phenomenal for perimenopause because it gives you a better quality sleep, and your better quality sleep means better anti-aging and better health in general.
So important, hey, we get that beauty sleep. It's not just a saying.
Absolutely. Yes.
What you've shared with us is so real and it's so practical and makes so much of sense because it's like the river. That water needs to constantly be moving and energy is the same. So very
Yes.
practical advice there. Thank you so much. So remember, don't be a couch potato. Get up and let that body move and allow that energy to move and don't go, Losh, you mentioned something about gymming, right? And I think if we think every day I have to do that 45 minutes, it can feel very heavy to the mind.
Exactly.
Automatically you go into shutdown and it's tomorrow I'll start.
Yes.
Tomorrow never comes. It's always
I
today,
find
isn't
that
it?
the most important thing about exercise is that you need to do something that you love. If that
Mm,
is putting on a song and dancing, it's
yeah,
equivalent to going to the gym. So find something
100%.
that you enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it long term.
Absolutely. Anything with passion is great. Now, do you recommend any particular habits in the morning or the evening that also support healthier aging?
So I am a strong, strong advocate of waking up every morning and showing up for yourself. So the
Uh,
easiest way to do this is to wake up half an hour before the rest of the house. And I
mm,
personally put on a full face. It doesn't need to be the same for you. But I feel like if you take that moment to make yourself the best version of yourself for yourself, and don't just leave dressing up and showing up for when you're going to a function or when you're going out, even if you're staying at home the whole day. Spend that
yes,
time to prioritize making yourself feel your best. Because I feel if you look your best, you do your best and you feel your best. So that's the first thing
100%.
I do every morning. Monday to Sunday, literally every
Love
single
it.
day.
Uh-huh.
I think sunlight is really important. So spending a little bit of time, like by the windows, by the sun. I think we spend so much of time indoors that sunlight is
Mhm.
amazing and an absolute mood booster. And I do take supplements. So I feel like, particularly when you're getting into the spotties, magnesium is really important. And I think because our stress levels are really high at the moment with our lifestyles, I do personally take ashwagandha, and has made the biggest difference for me. So even if you're doing something natural, if you feel you need it, it has helped me a lot. I would recommend that. In the
That's great.
evening, I think that meal prep so often becomes about what the kids like to eat, what hubby likes to eat, and
Mm,
whatever you want to eat is somewhere in between. If
mhm.
I didn't have to cook for my family and my hubby, I could have toast, because that's how little I prioritize myself in what I'm eating. And I think that if
Right.
you take the time to prioritize a healthy meal for yourself, so while you're making everybody else's food, yours doesn't necessarily have to be theirs. Try to do a
Mm,
little bit of meal prep and include something that you can have for lunch the next day. I think one of the
mhm.
things that is the biggest issue for us is eating leftovers, eating whatever's there, and getting to the point that you are starving and you'll eat anything in sight. So if you can take the evening to meal prep and know in advance what you're going to eat the next day, that's a huge step in prioritizing your food and your energy levels and your health.
Absolutely. The next day always starts the night before. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Thank you so much for that. I love what you say. I mean, you are doing you for you, and that does make a big difference, not just doing yourself because you want to go out and show the world. So it does make a big difference. So, ladies, don't, we laugh because often women are just in their Samiras at home, and then the hubby comes home and they're seeing them in the Samiras. Don't dress up and be you. It does change your whole energy and psyche. Now, Losh, I'm going to actually stop for a quick break. We're going to go for the 11:20 break. So do stay tuned. Listeners, stay tuned. We're going to resume with this because Losh has so much of amazing tips to share with us as we head into the 40s. Stay tuned. We'll be back with you in a bit.
أمتي أمتي قالها المصطفى يومها كل عبد بالرسول اكتفى.
Checkers Saxony Westwood Mall brings you everyday value with our halal certified butchery, bakery, and deli. Certified by the NIHT, the National Independent Halal Trust across our butchery, bakery, and deli.
Celebrate with flavor. Come visit the all-new Checkers Saxony Westwood. From cured meats, rich and savory, to spicy tandoori chicken, try our authentic Indian curries, perfectly seasoned and ready to serve. Everything is made fresh daily with care and quality you can taste. Our halal certified deli brings you freshness, flavor, and variety, worth coming back for. Whether you're setting the table for family or sharing something special on the go, discover the Checkers Saxony Westwood Deli, where good food is always on the menu. Checkers Saxony Westwood, butchery, bakery and deli, certified by the NIHT. Doors open on October 30th. See you there.
Explore the world with Worldview Travel. Let our expert team guide you in creating a travel experience that exceeds your expectations. Unbeatable flight deals, corporate and leisure bookings, luxurious accommodations, tailor-made packages, reliable car rentals, comprehensive travel insurance, seamless visa assistance. Visit us at 55 Problem Keys Road, Durban. Call 031 001 7062 or 0718350216. Follow us on Instagram at Worldview Travel. Worldview Travel creates memories to last a lifetime.
Checkers Saxony Westwood Mall brings you everyday value with our halal certified butchery, bakery and deli. Certified by the NIHT, the National Independent Halal Trust, across our butchery, bakery and deli. And welcome back. So we are chatting with Losh Naidu, a dynamic woman indeed. Just if you're joining us, she is an occupational therapist, the Mummy Club Sugar and Spice on Showmax, digital creator, co-host of the Double Dose podcast, makeup artist and fashion designer. We're actually talking about healthy habits for women over 40. So urban women, you really do want to pay attention. Join us live on Facebook as well as we are live on our screens. Now, Losh, many women actually work long hours at their desk. So what ergonomic changes would you advise for them?
I think one of the most important things is to watch your posture. So when you're sitting, you need to make sure that your hips, knees, and ankles are at 90 degrees to each other, and your feet are firmly on the ground. When you have this posture, you're automatically protecting your spine and is helping you with your back muscles and generally all of your strength in your torso. I think it's important also to have a lumbar cushion because positioning again is most important. Screens and the amount of time we're spending on screens is crazy. So to spend at least every 20 minutes, 5 minutes away from the screen if you are in front of a screen the whole day. And I think phones and screens are literally causing a little hump behind our necks because we're spending so much of our time with our necks bent forward. So just be conscious of keeping your screen at eye level and keeping your neck up. And I think that's really important with posture, neck pain, back pain, when you're on a screen all the time. I've seen a lot in practice of people coming in with thumb pain. And thumb pain is actually now as a result of scrolling because people have spent such a lot of time, A, lying on their side, holding their phone, resting on their thumb, and B, scrolling up with the thumb. So thumb pain is also something. So put your phone, if you want to scroll, that's fine, but put your phone onto a stand rather than putting that weight onto your fingers. Our fingers are not made for that constant weight in our fingers and the movement of our thumbs.
Wow. It's like, as you're saying, weight, that is true. We are doing weights on it, right? So you're saying hold it up at least like this and use the phone, not constantly like that. That is so true. So there's that hum coming through. Everything is all about awareness. Now that we have awareness, let's try and fix that. Now, Losh, from the OT
one of the
perspective,
most anti-aging things is having good posture. So I think if everybody can always just be conscious of like every few minutes, your posture, because we're all naturally slouched. And if you literally look better, feel better if you shoulders back and you have good posture.
that is so true. As an NLP life coach, we also learned that there is a recipe for confidence. Like a depressed person, how is their head? How is their tone? With their shoulders? And naturally, when you just do that, that confidence starts to come in. Thank you for reminding us. Now, from an OT perspective, what would you say? How can women actually balance that mental load, the emotional stress, and also daily responsibilities?
So I think mental load is something that literally we all deal with, right? And I feel like women just have it inherently in themselves that they want to be superhuman. We want to do it all. We want to be the perfect mom, the perfect wife, the perfect everything to everybody. And there's no need to be that because at the end of our lives, there is no award for who had the most stress and did the most. So I think what we need to do is prioritize what is the most important that you need to do and then delegate. But I must be very clear, delegation comes with its challenges. So if I'm telling my hubby, please can you fetch the girls today, I will get 4 phone calls about what time. So I've got triplets. They just finished matric. What time do they need to be fetched? Which gate do they need to be fetched on? And I'll get that phone call 2 or 3 times. So I feel like when we delegate, we need to delegate so specifically so the task doesn't come back to us a few times over.
Constantly.
You
Yeah.
want to let go of it and it's not your problem anymore. So
Mm.
delegate specifically and take that off your plate so that that will
Mhm.
assist you with mental load. I feel like there's a lot of, I wish you would help me with this. I wish you would do that, but that's all in our heads. It's not
Mm.
communicated. So communicate
Right.
what you wish. Nobody doesn't want to help you. Everybody just thinks, wow, you can do it all because that's
Mm.
what you are portraying to the world. So half of the time, people actually don't know you're struggling with managing everything that you need to do. So communication is key. Prioritizing what is the most important for you to do and what is fine if you delegate is most important. And I think on a daily basis, 15 minutes of me time, whatever that me time is. If it's scrolling on TikTok for you, that's fine. If it's making you a nice little treat to eat, that's fine. Whatever you really enjoy doing, I think make 15 minutes is a little ask. If we can get it longer, it would be great. Sometimes we can't, but a little bit of
Yeah.
me time to do what you truly enjoy doing.
Self-energize. It's so important because, as we know, the analogy, you can't serve from an empty vessel. So
Yeah.
important. And delegate with clarity. Yes. So, do you find that women at this stage often lose their sense of identity because of the work and the family roles? And how would you say they can reclaim that?
So I just think that uh, for me, this reality show came in my 40s. It is something that was not a pipe dream. I never meant to be in the social space. It's something that came so late. But it just
Mhm.
goes to show you can reinvent yourself at any point. So I think
Love.
most importantly, find your passion. Look
Hmm.
now that the kids are a little bit older, hubby's on top of things. What am I doing that brings me joy? Very often we say, my favorite restaurant is so and so, but it's because the kids love it. Or my
Yeah.
favorite thing to do is this because hubby enjoys doing that. So I'm like, find some.
Ooh, we've just lost Losh. And she was touching on something so incredibly important. I mean, that is so true. What is your identity? Your identity somewhere lost? Is it lost along the way because your kids love it? Your husband loves it? Perhaps it's something that you're seeing trending, so to say. It's the in thing. So that is so true. The identity. Who are you? What do you really enjoy? What is your passion? What is it that you would say, this is me? So we are touching on to something very important, the sense of identity, because when you know who you are, and then of course you are able to then step into your truth. So we're going to try and get her back on our screens, back on the airwaves of Radio Al Ansar International. If you are joining us, we're live on Facebook. We're talking about something so important. And I want to hear from you, women that have entered your 40s. How are you managing? Is there anything that you found that you changed? Any kind of healthy habits that you started to implement that in the past perhaps you didn't do? You kind of neglected because we think we are forever young. We're never going to age and our body's always going to be there to support us. And then you realize, oh, okay, I tend to be going a little bit slower here. What's going on? Something that I love Losh actually shared is she said, you can reinvent yourself at any stage. Now, that's true. We often think that as we age, there goes our window of opportunity. But that's actually not the truth. That's just a belief system that we hold so strongly in our minds and we live by that. And so, anyways, I want to ask you, what is that one thing that you can actually. What's stopping you? What is stopping? Is it your age? Is it the if only, should have, could have? Maybe if I was a little bit younger, and then when you were younger, why didn't you? So that's just something that you're using to serve you, to block you so that you don't go forward. And in my language, it's actually called, not just my language, but it's called self-sabotage. Are you self-sabotaging because it's just easier, basically, not to get up and to do everything that you want to do? So it takes a lot of effort to get out of it, because what does that mean? It means know who you are. It means step out of your comfort zone. And it means many times people actually don't know their favorite restaurant is always because of somebody else, and then we lost you.
Yes, sorry. I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear, but we're not getting your screen up on Facebook, but that's fine. Let's continue.
Okay, let's continue. Yeah, so I think that once you find what it is that you like, stop thinking about everybody else and prioritize that. You'll start to find you yourself again. And this could mean nothing about what you loved in the past. It could be something completely new. There's so many new activities, new genres to explore. And I feel if you take the time to discover who you are now and find a passion that you can spend a little time a week on, it will be really about rediscovering you as you get older, as the kids get older, and you find yourself with more time and you can prioritize yourself.
That's important because then you know you are living your authenticity, and the clock is ticking. We don't know how long we're going to be living for, so why not live in your truth, in your purpose, which is so fulfilling then? As we wrap up, Losh, what would you say? What small changes can women actually start today that will have the biggest long-term impact?
Sorry, Razia, I didn't hear you. I can't hear it all now.
Okay, are you able to hear me now, or you lost me in totality? I think she's lost me, unfortunately. Okay, I think we're going to have to wrap up here.
I can see you, but there's no audio.
You can see me on our Facebook Live. We are actually backstage, so she's able to see me, but she can't hear me. I'm not sure what's going on. So we're going to actually have to wrap up here, unfortunately. That was Losh Naidu, occupational therapist, the Mummy Club Sugar and Spice, and Showmax digital creator, co-host of the Double Dose podcast, makeup artist and fashion designer, sharing